Okay, so this is a sikha that surrounds the topic mainly about kids. The important part that kids play in Matan Torah, and this is also why the Rabbi had instituted the importance of making sure to bring even babies to the Aser Sadibris because of the important role that the kids played in the receiving of the Torah. And not only that, but us receiving the Torah, the Rebbe is going to compare to a child first going into Cheder, to a child first going into Yeshiva, going to learn Torah. So the same way, we are also celebrating the Yom Tov, just like you celebrate a child his first day of school learning Torah. Tesvav, page 262. Shechag HaShavuos, milvad Yosei Chag ben HaChagim, Moedum l'simcha. Shavuos like any other Yom Tov, you have to be joyous. Yesh be'simcha nesefes simchas mitzvah. Mishum kabolas ha'torah yidei Yisrael. That itself, that it's the day that the Jewish people accepted the Torah and received the Torah, that is a gift. And when we get a gift, we are joyous. Ukeshem shebachnosas yelad l'cheder l'mod Torah. Oisim simcha came b'Shavuos yom knisas kol Yisrael l'cheder l'kabolas ha'torah. Like I just now said, when a child goes into Cheder, we make a whole celebration for him the first time he goes into Cheder. Usually, they'll join it with his when he turns 3. They give an option, and they give his first haircut, so they'll take him to Cheder, and they show him the olive bays, and there's a whole celebration. And why? Because it's a happy occasion. He's going into the Cheder to learn Torah. The same thing, the Jewish people receiving the Torah on Shavuos is like the child initially going into Cheder to learn Torah. So that's an additional joy and happiness that there is by Shavuos over other Yom Tovim. Derech Agav, in other places, the Rebbe explains this is also similar to what it says that there's a discussion about other Yom Tovim. There's a dispute if in other Yom Tovim you could, let's say, totally devote it to Hashem. If you want, it says you could be totally immerse yourself in Torah study and davening all day, and you don't have to worry about eating and drinking, whatever. You just do the bare bones, basics, and that's it. Or you could do it totally, enjoy it, and meat and wine and everything. But when it comes to Shavuos, kula alma moide the be'inan lachem. Everybody holds. Even those people that say about other Yom Tovim, you have a choice. You could indulge in meat and wine, but when it comes to Shavuos, everybody says you must also have some physical celebration of a delicious meal and so on and so forth. Why? Because we need to show in the physical how we're enjoying and we're celebrating the fact that we got the Torah. So the Rebbe does over here a play on words. The reason why the Yom Tov Shavuos is called Shavuos simply is because of weeks. We counted 7 weeks from the first night of Pesach. At the end of those 7 weeks, you have the 50th day. That's Shavuos night. Tonight we counted we finished counting the Omer. Hopefully everybody over here already finished counting the Omer tonight. And that's why it's called, in English, the Festival of Weeks. But the Rebbe is explaining over here, Shavuos is also a play on words that Shavuot means an oath. And Shavuos is plural oaths. 2 Shavuos. What are the 2 oaths? Hashem Shavuos kosher b'matan Torah v'Shavuos lashon Rabbim al Shem shtei Shavuos. There are 2 oaths. Aleph, Shavuos HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yisrael shlo yachlifim chas v'sholom be'umah acheres. Hashem swore that He will not exchange the Yidden for another people. All the time we see throughout the Navi, and we see throughout any Nevi'im and any prophets that have bawled out the Jewish people, it never says that Hashem completely gave up on them. It says, I'll return you, I'll bring you back, you messed up, you're like an adulterous wife, you're such and such, but you're still my people, and I'm still your God, and that is never lost. That is never severed, and that comes about because of an oath. Hashem swore His allegiance to us. And Beis, Shavuos, mashbein ois ti tzadik v'chulum, mashakol Yisrael mushba v'oimit mahar Sinai. the fact that every Yid took an oath at Har Sinai to follow what the Torah says. He'll remain a Jew no matter what. The Rebbe analyzes a very interesting thing. We know that the Jewish people and Yaakov Avinu had two names. One was Yaakov and one was Yisrael. Yaakov is from the word Akev, a heel, which shows on how Yaakov tricked Esav. It shows on Yaakov's low level, and in general, when that applies to Klal Yisrael, it shows on the Yidden being in a level of being a heel, whatever that means, but it shows on a low spiritual level. Then there's Yisrael, that's Sar Keil Kisarisai Malakim V'Nashim Batuchal, because you overpowered, you were strong, you were mighty, even over angels. So Yisrael shows on a Yidden being the highest level. So the Chazal say, Yisrael, Afal Pishachata, a Yid, even though he sinned, Yisrael hu. It doesn't say he's Yaakov. Even when he sins, he still maintains, he still has that connection. He cannot divorce himself from Hashem. It's like we're bound forever. Hashem promised himself to us, and he cannot separate himself from us, Kaviyachol, and we cannot separate ourselves from him as much as we try. When did this occur? Shavuos. Davar ze nischadish b'matan Torah. She'oz nischadshu shtei Shavuos hakesher ben HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yisrael ben Yisrael HaKadosh Baruch Hu. B'iskashrus atzmis she'eina tluya ka'amar v'maymed u'matzav b'asher hu, that this bond was created then between the Yidden and Hashem at the giving of the Torah. For this reason, it's understood even more so the joy. Mishum kach hasimcha b'yeser says, Shekain, hasimcha nevas matan Torah kshura l'chol Yehudi. It's not that matan Torah is only for those that study Torah or even those that observe mitzvahs, but every Jew has this bond with Hashem. B'chol zman u'b'chol makim, every place and every time. V'simcha pi'elos hamshachas ha'yisoydes shel chag hashvuos al kol hashana. Shari simcha poiritz geder azman v'geder ha'makim sheb'chol zman u'b'chol makim te'kabol sa'torah. What the Rebbe is saying here is as follows, that we have the idea that joy, we know, breaks through all barriers, breaks through all boundaries. When a person is happy, they go overboard. They do things that they would normally not do. The same thing, the joy of the receiving the Torah helps us break through all barriers, that even once the celebration is over, even once Shavuos is over, for the rest of the year, we can re-experience that receiving of the Torah because the joy breaks through. When Hashem gave the Torah, he wanted a guarantor. He was giving a wonderful gift, and in some places it's likened to a king giving his princess, a daughter, as a bride, but he wanted a guarantor that you're going to take care of my daughter, the bride. On Yisrael v'amru, our fathers will be guarantors, our prophets will be our guarantors. Hashem did not accept these guarantors. When the Jewish people said, our children will be our guarantors, then Hashem accepted it. Thanks to the children, because of the children, it wasn't just that the Torah was given to the children. Even the adults, even the Talmidei Chacham, even the great people received the Torah only thanks to the children. It says it in present tense. It doesn't just say Asher Nosan Lanu as Torah, but it says Noisein HaTorah. Why does it say in the present tense, the one who gives us the Torah? Shekain Yeshnei Matan Torah B'chol Yom V'Yom. Matan Torah is something that occurs every single day. It's always, every single day, we're experiencing Matan Torah, similar to what we said before. Yesh al Kain Limsor as a Yeladim Midei Yom B'Yom L'Limud HaTorah. We have to therefore devote and give our children to Torah study on a daily basis. L'Limud HaTorah, V'L'chanach Mal Pi HaTorah, to educate them according to Torah. The Rabbi used to demand and ask and request that even in the summer months when kids are off from yeshiva, that doesn't mean that they should have a vacation from Torah learning. So you send them to camp, but the camp is just a disguised yeshiva. Camp is just another way how to learn Torah, but in a different type of atmosphere, in some creative means of teaching Torah. But there's never a moment in a child's life where he should be removed and without Torah study. Came when we're doing carpool or when we're sending them off on the bus or whatever it is, it also has to be done out of joy. Yes, there's some people that are just happy to finally have the house to themselves, but we're not talking about that type of joy. We're talking about the joy of finally the kid is going to be learning something Jewish. You have to worry about how is he going to make a living. Yes, ladas, we need to know the Chazal say the same one who gives life gives sustenance. So if Hashem gave us children, so He's also going to be concerned about making sure that they have what to eat. You don't have to worry, what's my kid going to make a living? Like it says, if we will learn Torah, you will get your rains. You will have your produce. All good wishes that parents want for their children, the Eibishter takes care of. And how? What's the means? What's the channel for these brachas? Specifically through Torah study. When he does the studying Torah, doing mitzvahs. So there is an interesting play on words over here. Arisoseicha means the bowl, the mixing bowl that they used to mix dough in. So the simple meaning is the beginning, the first of your dough, you have to give to the kohen. But also, a deeper meaning is Malashon Arisa. Arisa means a child's bed or a crib, which means right away at the beginning. When the child is born, when the child's already in their crib, we need to devote him to Hashem. Tarimu truma la Hashem, you should offer him up to Hashem. Shemiyad bekume mishnase, as soon as he gets up from being asleep. He says Moida'ani in bed. Then it awaits him success also in the physical. But in other words, it's not just he'll be spiritually successful, but like we said before, if a person is spiritually successful, so then that also impacts physical success as well. Why? So the Rebbe finally concludes, why do you have to be happy when you're sending your kid off to Cheder? The happiness of a parent is the good fortune of a child. When a parent realizes that when they send their kid to Cheder to study Torah, this doesn't only ensure their spiritual well-being, their mental health, but it also ensures their material well-being, that this is going to be good for them physically. So the parent is happy. This is what makes a parent happy, to be able to give the child whatever they need. Now the Rebbe is going to go on and analyze very famous word of the Rebbe, where the Rebbe analyzes the medrash that we mentioned before about the children being the guarantors. So the Rebbe is going to break it down some more. Super medrash, like we said before, he asked for guarantors. Hashem didn't accept when they offered their fathers. They said they wanted their Nevi'im, the prophets. No, he didn't accept. He accepted the children as the guarantors, and he gave the Torah. So the Rebbe says, this was in 1952, so the Rebbe was like styling it on American style, like sermons. And he said, Kan ba America mekubal moedin in hadrush. People like to sermonize, they like to pontificate. So I'm going to learn this medrash in a sermonic fashion. Hakoil megadol v'adkotten mashmiim drush. It doesn't make a difference whether you know a lot, you know a little. Everybody sermonizes, everybody pontificates. It says when you come to a town, you should follow the customs of the town. So the Rebbe says, I'm here in America, I'll follow this custom. I'll sermonize over here. Yisrael heim harei ha'aman nivchar, they're the chosen nation. They love to learn Torah. The pasuk says that the Torah is your wisdom, and even the nations recognize how wise Torah is, and therefore the Jewish people love studying Torah. It could be because of all different types of reasons, all different types of burdens. There's bedtime, there's carpool, there's all these different things. They find themselves too busy to, even though they enjoy it greatly, but they find themselves too busy to study Torah, and maybe even not do the mitzvahs the way they're supposed to. Therefore, Hashem wanted to be assured that he wasn't wasting his time by giving the Jewish people Torah. So therefore, he demanded guarantors. Our parents will be Arevim. What do you have your parents? Here in Florida, what do your parents do? They're retired. Your parents. I'm somebody's parent. People think I'm retired. Whatever. He has an old father. The old father is sitting in the old age home. He has no worries. He has no concerns. Everything is taken care of. He'll sit and learn Torah. The son is going to support his father. The father will join a group that studies Mishnah and another group that studies Gemara. And they'll study Torah. He has no other occupations. He's not in business. He'll have time to learn. He has all the free time in the world. He doesn't have to do carpool. Not only that, it'll make his father especially happy. Why? Whenever you join some type of group, so you have a group of Mishnayos learners, a group of Gemara learners, what happens? Once or twice a year, they get together as a party, as a whole celebration, so it'll make him even happier. He has something to enjoy. He has something to look forward to. So, as we'll soon see, Hashem didn't accept it. Yisrael anugam nevi'enu arevim ba'adeinu. That our nevi'im, top of 264, will be our guarantors. Nevi'enu kaloimer hamatifim. The literal meaning of navi is melashon niv sasayim, someone that speaks, someone that moves his lips. He's called a navi, even though in the colloquial navi goes on a prophet, but a navi means any speaker, any talker, which is, who are the talkers? Who teaches the congregation? The Rabbanim Shalanu. Heim Yilmudu Torah Avareinu. We're going to have them. They're going to be the guarantors of Torah. They'll sit and learn, and we can take it off our head. Adam Yiskel Asmei Rav Yitmach Boy V'Yilmei Torah V'Yilu Asmei Asmei Mischor. I'll hire my own rabbi, and I'll pay him a salary that he should sit down and learn Torah, and I'll be just involved in business. But Hashem didn't agree to that as well. It's not enough that the rabbis should learn Torah. Therefore Hashem asked for other guarantors. While our children are still young and they can't do any business, first they'll go to Talmud Torah, then to yeshiva. When they'll mature, there's a printing mistake over here. There's not supposed to be a ches over there. He'll take him out of yeshiva, and then he'll bring him into the business. If they'll learn while young, shuv lo yazva safsal limudim gambe bagrusam, they'll already get so involved in it, they won't want to leave when they get older. So many stories, by the way, of people that had plans for their kids to go to college and different things, or help out in the family business, and then all of a sudden they somehow got in contact with Chabad, and they fell in with Chabad, and they started learning in yeshiva. And they started telling the parents, sorry, staying here, I don't want to go to college, I don't want to join the family business. And the parents went crazy, and the Rebbe used to listen to the parents, and used to sometimes be Yechidus, have the child and the parents together, and he explained to the parents how this is good for them and good for him, and it worked. But the point is, we see here the exact situation. If the kid starts off learning, then it has a continuation. Yes, okay. Ha'ilodim yidabru kol kach alev ha'hoirim ad sheyeshuchnu gam heim ha'hoirim lahaskal b'limud ha'torah v'kiyum mitzvah. When you have cases of the parents not doing what they're supposed to do, or not learning Torah, the kids will convince their parents. The kids will schlep their parents to do mitzvahs and to learn Torah. So this is the reason why Hashem wanted that the children should be the arevim, should be the guarantors. And then the Rebbe says, it says there's 4 general ways how we could study Torah. Pshat, Remez, Drush, Soid. Pshat is in the world of action, Oil Masiyah. Remez and Drush is either Bri, Yitzira. And Soid is Natzilus. So the Rebbe says, this is a Drush. Drush is either Bri or Yitzira. But whatever it is, we need to go down here. We need to invest all our energy to bring students to Talmud Torahs and to yeshivas. That will also influence the parents. And through the children, like we said before, all the Jewish people will receive the Torah. Now this was, by the way, in 1952 in America, where it was still a radical thing what the Rebbe was saying over here. Many, even Torah observant children went either to public school and went to Talmud Torah in the afternoon, or different things like that. It was 1952 wasn't the time already more of a breakthrough. Since the 40s, it was already breaking through more and more of having institutions of yeshivas just dedicated to even young children. But it was still a radical thing to go and tell people, go schlep a Jewish child that isn't going to yeshiva and get him to come to yeshiva, get him to come to Cheder, because this is what's going to guarantee the Jewish people's continuance. Now the Rebbe is going to bring another component in the education of the children, and that other component is the mother. Up till now he's talking about the component of sending the child to yeshiva, sending him with joy, realizing that this won't hurt his prospects for making a good living. Now he's going to talk about the mother's role in educating Jewish children. It says, so you shall say to the house of Yankov, and you shall tell to the Bnei Yisrael. Bnei Yisrael means the sons of Yisrael. That's the masculine. That's the men. Beis Yaakov is the home. The woman is called the Akeres Habayis. So it says, speak to the Beis Yaakov. That's talking about the Jewish women. That the Jewish women were first on the list of preparing for Matan Torah. Why? Al Moshe Rabbeinu limser hadvorim barishoyna lenoshim v'rak achar kach legvorim. Mishum shekiyum ha'Torah toli b'neshei Yisrael, the ongoing existence of Torah is dependent upon Jewish women. Bahen toli achinuch hamotzi b'yadeim b'shnoitzav harishoyna shal yelad kashu urach b'yoser v'nimtza kol yom b'bayis v'gam la'acher mekain kishu mevaker kvar b'cheder mevaluhu roiz mani b'bayis imimoi. First of all, the mother is most of the time at home with the child before the child goes to school. Even after the child goes to school, so when they're home, still the mother spends most of the time with the child. So really, it's dependent upon the mother, And the Rebbe, not many sikhs also says, the daughters that help out their mothers in educating their younger siblings. Matzav abayis bechlalusoi b'midarabba gam misnagus habal hu b'idei isha akeres abayis. The way the home runs, even the way the husband acts, is very often dependent upon the woman who's the mainstay of the home. Nemer al kein lun shem Yisrael toimar lebeis Yaakov toimar beloshin rakom. The Hebrew word vayomer is talking about a soft way of speaking. Baram ein zal a loshin bitui raka loisha toichen shoynim ezeh shenemer legvarim. It's not that Hashem told Moshe Rabbeinu to tell the women something different than he tells the men, but the means of delivering the message to the women has to be in a soft way. Eloisen dvarim kiim beloshin b'safa raka. Ukvi shizbat upon kvoitis meiracham admur ein tzorich lamed al tzad al loitoy b'mikra vein helchem derech hatoyrich al shalom kiim al tzad hatoyv. My father-in-law, the Frierdiker Rebbe, the Rebbe says, would say that to not point out and make an issue about when a person is not doing something right. Focus on educating them and showing them what to do right. That's what it means, the soft touch. Speak to the women in a soft manner. Don't go, giving them over the head. Yesh lahasbir lahen, you have to explain to the women. Ki'im ritzaynam biyiladim b'riyim b'gashmis, if they want healthy children, physically healthy. Varei briyas gashmis hakol roitzim, everybody wants physical health. Umusharim b'gashmis b'ruchnius, and we want them to be fortunate physically and spiritually. Afilu chachamim mekerev alo Yehudim. Oh, you're right. Aleim ladas, you're right. Ki dover zetoli bebrias haneshama sha'oz gam haguf bari. It's dependent upon the health of the neshama. When the neshama is healthy, so then the body is also a healthy body. Afilu chachamim mekerev alo Yehudim, even non-Jewish scientists, lahavdil, chayvim shebrias haguf tluya brias haneshama. A person's mental and spiritual state impacts their physical body. If they're stressed out, their physical body could be perfectly fine, but stress can physically break down the body. Stress is in the mind. Stress is something that's not tangible. There's no illness that's connected with stress, and yet we see how the mental state of a person, the emotional state of a person, the spiritual state of a person impacts the physical state. And shekaim b'shah sh'haneshama b'riya, when the soul is healthy, b'riya ma'atzavim, so then the nerves are healthy. V'gam haguf bari, and then the body is healthy. U'b'Yisrael yitochen ha'davar rak b'yischamchus v'chaim al pi ha'Torah. And by a Jewish person, that is only possible to reach this full aspect of health only by education and life according to Torah. So then, this is what we're trying to explain to the Jewish mothers that want the best for their children. Ba'eim u'matzigas ha'shayla. So the mother poses a question. What's the connection? My child's eating habits, his sleeping, that's what determines his health. What's the connection between health and all the different mitzvahs? Brachas, tzitzis, what does that have to do with health? Yesh ladas, we need to know, the Rebbe says. Shemikiven sha'olam nivrai de'akadosh baruch hu adonai olamai. Hein ala neshama v'hein ala guf ukvishakava kachesh lasis. He is the one that runs the world. He runs the neshama and the body. And the way he directed us, that's the way we have to run it. I heard somebody once say, a person will get, an item, he'll buy himself a suit, and it says dry clean only. And the guy's going to say, who does that guy in China or in Taiwan or in Korea that's making my suit, where does he come off telling me how I should clean my suit? If I want to clean it in the washing machine, I'll clean it in the washing machine. He's going to go, I never even saw him before. What do I know about this guy? I don't even know who he is. And he writes dry clean only. Where is it? Or my car company tells me, only unleaded gas put in, or only 92 octane, whatever it is over there. Where bist du? Do I know you? Have I seen you before? Did we eat by the same table? Did we grow up by the same parents? The Eibishter made this world. The Eibishter made us, made our neshama, made our body. There, He is our manufacturer. We got to follow the manufacturer's instructions to be able to get the best use out of it. And the Rabbi uses this term of manufacturing. Someone that planned out a factory. Only the planner knows how to run it. Something that some visitor thinks might be a minor detail. It doesn't make a difference. You put this here, you put that there. Who cares? You put the screw there, you put the screw there. We know that wives often will not let the husband into anything has to do with running the house. Let me run the house, because she knows. So if she understands that the house has to be run by her direction because she has already planned out, she has a system, she knows how this works, etc., etc. How much more so when it's not just details, but we're talking about the life of a child. This matters. The Torah mitzvahs of the child, the soul of the child, impacts not just the child, but all of the generations after generations. Top of 265, second column. For generations later, it matters what this child, how he will be sustaining himself and supporting himself spiritually. No one can mix themselves into how to run the life of this child. Only the way Hashem established it is the education of the child to be run. Just like Hashem is the boss in heaven, He's the boss down here in the United States, the Rebbe says, and to any other country. My child should be 100% healthy. It has to be 100% according to Torah. In the Yiddish over here, they have the Rebbe inserted different English words over here. 50-50, the Rebbe says over here. Here it says chatzi-chatzi, but the Rebbe used 50-50, he said. Feyud. A child, a parent won't say, the child will be 50-50 when it comes to his health. No normal parent will say that. Let's say half a day should be healthy, and not so healthy, in the second half. The parents invest their lives in the fact that the child should be completely healthy. No compromise with the child's health. They have to be 100% devoted to Hashem, and that will help their physical health as well. We also have to make sure that a Jewish child has in their memory words of Torah according to their age. Shema Yisrael, Moida'ani, different brachas, different tefillas, Psuki Chumash, Mishnayis, Misefer, Mishnayis Mispar, a number of Mishnayis have to be memorized. That's why in the Gan Yisrael, the summer camps, we have all these Mishnayis Balpeh programs. Dover, also now Tzivus Hashem, I think has it. Dover ze mashpia gam al azman by einu loimed ve einu meshan sadvarn for shemuz da dover teres chassidus mishan machronis hoide b'cholan she'erafur. Chassidus explains that when a person has Torah engraved in his memory, even if at present they're not pulling it up, but the very fact that it's embedded there, that impacts the person. And that impacts their spirituality. And the Rebbe says that even, again, scientists admit that the things that we have in our memory, whether or not we're conscious of it or not, it could be completely subconscious, it impacts our life. and it affects our lives. So the same thing with Torah, that the Torah words that we have memorized, regardless if we consciously think them, they affect us. Sikum kol ha'omer b'ktsaru, who a summary in short. Nemar b'Torah v'adavar moving gam lefi ha'hegin ha'bari. This is both says in Torah, and any clear mind can understand this. Shayisnagus k'vi shahoyra adorna olam, acting the way the boss of the world indicated. Yaderech hayichida latzliach b'olam. It's the only way to be successful in the world. Ukisha'adam mu'unyan b'atzlacha le'psharis. If a person wants success without compromise, so then the way he acts has to be without compromise, especially in everything connected to children. Children have to be 100% healthy. We have to give them 100% education for Yiddishkeit. Then Hashem gives the children, their parents, Gam ruchnis v'gam gashmis, both spiritual and the physical, b'me'achuz, 100%. Ka'amar v'pasuk im b'chayste lechem v'nas na'ar tivula, v'beisi eschem v'chmoisis brisi itchem. That if you will go in my statutes, the earth will give its produce, and I will increase you, and I will establish my covenant with you. Ka'amar niskars v'matan toira b'rishayna beisi yankev elo ha'noshim v'chachmei Yisrael elo ha'anoshim ha'ashpa al ha'anoshim tluya b'noshim. The Jewish woman, up till now we're talking about the effect that the Jewish woman has on the household in general, on the children. Here we're talking about the importance of the Jewish woman influencing her husband. The Jewish wife and daughter needs to know that in them is how the house runs, and they influence the husband. On the one hand, a woman needs to respect her husband. But if she's completely resolved to get something done, so she knows the ways to the husband's heart to impress him and to influence him to do what's right. In a pleasant manner. It's self-understood the way she acts has to be in an appropriate manner. This is already the job of the parents and the husband, to explain, like we said, in a soft manner, in a pleasant manner, the things you're supposed to do, and what is prohibited from doing. It has to be that she's acting according to Torah. Even something going beyond the letter of the law, a Jewish woman that grew up in a Chassidic household has to know she also has to fulfill that which is considered a Chassidus type of thing, that which is considered beyond the letter of the law. The Rabbi is referring to the previous Rabbi, also wanted that Jewish women should learn Chassidus. That's the reason why the Frierdiker Rebbe wrote Matters of Chassidus also in Yiddish, so that women who weren't necessarily that well versed in Lashon Kodesh, they could read it in Yiddish. So therefore, acting in a Chassidic fashion is also applicable to the Jewish women. Especially when we want Hashem to give us more than what we may deserve. So we also have to act going beyond the letter of the law. Then Hashem will give from His full and broad hand in children and life and health and sustenance and making a living in a comfortable manner. In the entire 100%. In America, like you say in America, all right. That he's doing all right. I don't know how familiar you are with this expression, but it used to be used as like over the top. He used to say, he's doing all right. He's not. It didn't mean that he was like okay. It meant like. Then the parentheses, it says that after Ma'ariv, that the Rebbe himself made Havdalah. The Rebbe gave out everybody Keshel Bracha, that he made the benching over it, and before the Rebbe left where they were having the Fabrengen in 770, was probably upstairs. Isru Chag Ware Brei de Moyeda. It's called, the Isur Chag is called like the child of the Yom Tov. The Yom Tov gives birth to the day after Yom Tov. That it's better, and the power of the son is even stronger from the power of the father. Yamshichu Eifo say Yom Tov Isur Chag, they should continue the Yom Tov in the day following the Yom Tov. Isur Chag I'll call Shana for Isur Chag for the entire year. Shetehei Shana Mevarech Splim Torah should be a blessed year in Torah study.